Viewer discretion is advised. Your fave will be criticized.
That's Jan.
That's Chris.
And this is CCTV, the nonstop pop show.
And we're heading into SHINee World for another edition of Pop Off, the ultimate music showdown.
If you're wondering who we are, Shan and I have a huge range of experience in the music industry, from performing on stage to working at record labels. So we have a lot of insight into the crazy music industry. And you can come hang out with us on Patreon at patreon.com/cctvpops. And shout out to our amazing crew members, Lisette, Lily, Emily, Kevin, and Juliet. Hey.
So, if you're new here, Pop Off is a segment here on CCTV where we take some tracks, compare the songs, videos, and performances, and pick our favorites in each category. Then we choose the ultimate winner. But this is meant for pure fun, so please don't take it too seriously. But before we get started, make sure to hit that follow or subscribe button for more fun content from us.
Yes. So today, we are taking a look at the solo debut title tracks released by the members of SHINee, who we are both huge fans of. And if you haven't checked it out, we do have our SHINee Pop 101 episode where we did go through their whole career and talked about the business and the music. Right. So definitely check that out. While they're on hiatus, because we're waiting for Taemin to come back,
Right.
we thought we'd go back because Minho has finally released, right?
Finally.
So anyway, SHINee as a group has had major success and are one of the highest selling K-pop acts of all time. But the group members individually have also had huge success, not just in music, but as presenters, radio DJs, and actors, and everything in between.
This is very true.
Yes.
And Minho is the final member to release a solo project. And as he has noted, is the final piece of the puzzle, which I think is so cute.
Cute.
The group members have all named their albums similarly, with Taemin starting with Ace, Jonghyun with Bass, Key with Face, and Onew with Lace, and finally, Minho with Shape.
Yeah, you tried it with voice. He did say, I guess maybe in Korean, maybe they say voice.
Voice, 목소리? I don't know.
Yeah, face, voice.
Voice? So sorry, y'all. Like in Konglish, it is voice.
Yeah, that makes more sense, because otherwise it's the only one that doesn't rhyme. But you know what? The CE is there.
Yes.
Or the S, or that's sound.
Yeah. Together we can. So, speaking of it together, let's get ready to rumble.
Round 1.
First in the ring, we have Taemin with Danger.
I'm sorry. I just love this song.
Danger. Danger, if you couldn't tell what I was just saying.
Player 1.
And it is the lead single from the Ace EP, I think. Album? EP. And it was released in August 2014 and was composed by Thomas Troelsen, whose previous works include History by EXO and Love Like Oxygen by SHINee. So let's talk about the song first.
This song is definitely one of the more interesting ones. I think listening to SHINee's music, this song is really simple in the sense of like how it starts and even how it sounds. But it has a lot of added textures, like a sliding bass, and like there's risers and there's addition of harmonies that make it sound really full. And it has an overall good build. I think like one of my favorite parts is in the percussion, because it's really percussion, the bridge, because of all the percussion. And then there's like some 80s kind of top line going on. It's really cool. And I think the kick drum really drives this song. I'm like, is it a kick drum, right?
The bass drum?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at, see? Because of him. But yeah, I think this song is really impressive in the sense of like first 20 seconds and you're hearing bump, 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 bump. That's already an earworm, you know? And then the chorus comes in, it's like full. He's singing really low, which is weird for SHINee.
Yeah.
You know?
And him,
exactly. Yeah. So it's just like interesting, very, very interesting and almost unexpected, because SHINee is very bright. They're very colorful. Juliet with the pants, all that other stuff. For him to sit there and just go monochrome, black and white, maybe some red, and then sing like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say, so this was around the Everybody era for SHINee, right after that. And Taemin he started to stand out a lot during that era. Like he was really feeling himself. He was really coming into his own. He was such a star in that performance. So I think everyone was really excited for him to come out solo anyway. And he had always listed MJ as his biggest inspiration. So this was pretty much what I expected. You can totally hear it. It's super slick. It's very dance heavy. And yeah, as you mentioned, the low vocals in those verses is quite shocking. I think he has quite a light tone, and in SHINee, he sings the higher parts usually. So to have him do that, where it's all just kind of like emotionless and low, like that was kind of nice to hear that from him. I love the chorus. Stay. Super memorable, and I love the harmonies in it. The way it's layered, it's really cool and makes it stand out from the rest of the song.
Yes.
And just the whole build is just so good. You know, you got robotic verses, you got the euphoric choruses. It's just so good.
Yeah. Like the whispering.
Yes, the whispering.
Baby, he held it down. And I love the lyrics. Like I honestly, up until today, I've never like looked at the lyrics because the song is like melodically, sonically, I liked it. I was like, who needs lyrics? What is danger and stay and blah, 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 blah. Right. So I think they're quite smexy. Apparently he wants to dig his thorns and approach someone like a flower and steal her. Or whomever. But he wants to steal this person. The thorn thing got me. You know, like the danger. He's like, tonight, danger. I'll steal you. It doesn't sound.
He's the danger.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good in English, but in Korean, honey, he couldn't tell me nothing. I was like, come take me, sir. But honestly, I feel like this whole thing was very smooth criminal of him, like without the intent of the actual song. But it's very smooth criminal. Like, I'm going to come get you. Wheel made danger, you know?
Yes.
And honestly, like I said, the lyrics didn't know anything about, and the video doesn't actually convey what the lyrics are talking about.
But we'll get into the video later. Let's talk about the songs first.
Up next is player 2, Jonghyun with Crazy Guilty Pleasure featuring Iron. Sorry. Don't like that, man.
Player 2.
It's the lead single from the base album and was released on January 2015. And it was produced by Jonghyun, Wei Frog choreography, Jean Beauvoir, and Judith Wick, and Robin Jensen, and Martin Mulholland. I do apologize for the name. I was very shocked.
I think that was good.
Okay, so sorry, sir. Anne and Robin are actually part of the production team that worked on Le Seraphim's 2 most recent singles, like Less Fearless and Anti-Fragile. So, you know, he had some nice hands on the pot for a minute. It's interesting seeing these names as we've been doing the show. You know?
Yeah. Also, this sound nothing like those.
Not it. Growth. But what do you think about that? Speaking of which, like...
Yeah. Okay. So Jonghyun, as I've said in our previous episodes, he's for sure my favorite member of SHINee. So I was very excited for him to go solo. He was already writing songs for the group and stuff. But I have to say, I was expecting him to also kind of go the MJ route. Kind of like the more R&B kind of, but a little brighter than Taemin. But that's actually what I thought he would kind of go for. And he didn't really. He did go like a darker R&B kind of thing. But then this song, while it has that element, it's also like an emo rock pop kind of thing. Influence, at least. So that's interesting. I will have to say, I remember the first time I heard it, I much preferred the other songs on the project. But through the years, the song has grown on me.
Yeah.
And hearing it live and stuff has helped as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think what hurts it for me is, while I like the melody and he sounds amazing, I'll get more into the vocals, but I wish the production was rockier. I think I said this for other songs before. If you're going to go the rock route, go for it. Yeah. I want real drums. I want guitars. Yeah. I like how hard the keyboard hits are. Dun, 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 you know? Yeah. But I want it all more intense to match it, because vocally, he's very intense. And melodically, he's quite intense as well. But like he emotes so well. You can feel the yearning in it. And yeah, I think of the mix that he uses, especially when he goes in like with during the verses. Yeah. Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
I'm not even going to try to duplicate it.
His voice is just, I miss it.
You know, wow, you're right. There's not really a vocalist like that in any group currently. It doesn't mean that the guys of Fortune can't sing. It's just they can't sing like that. Yeah. That's a huge difference. Even in SM, there's no one that sounds like him.
Yeah,
really.
It's the emotion. Yeah, he's so emotive. Like every single word has intention to it.
Yeah, you're like, oh, he's singing. But yeah, you know what? Zion T was actually kind of like production-wise in this song, if I'm not mistaken. So like I hear him in like the chorus a little bit, like even in the harmonies. I'm like, oh yeah, he would stack it like that, because I bought his first album and I can hear certain like notes of this, and I can hear R&B, like maybe like that weird amalgamation of like classical and hip hop that was hot in the early 2000s, like that dun, 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 for no reason, but it was just hot.
Yeah.
Think Step Up movies if you have no clue I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, the strings and the harmonies are like kind of R&B and hip hop with that boom bap kind of sound. And the rock does come in, I guess, with the band kind of in the rock. You're right. If there was more guitars, I would have been like, yeah. So it has more of a gothic, maybe like hip hop Evanescence kind of feel to me. I don't know. No, that's way off. But it's an amalgamation of a lot of the hands that were in this. But yeah, it's like a weird little genre bending thing. I think the strings definitely create drama. I was like, woo, suspense and such. Felt like a soap opera. And it added a lot of tension for me. And the rapper featured in the song before all of his business happened, Loon, he's a loon, but he actually added to the song, which is interesting because, he's like an actual rapper. He was really popular at the time before all the craziness happened. He was really popular. So for Jonghyun to have him on the album and recognize someone else's talent and bring him on and kind of do those like really nice ad-libs where he's hitting falsettos, he's doing these really nice, very Western-ish ad-libs. I liked it. I definitely liked it. He has a lot of vocal texture in his voice, for sure. Like the falsettos, the chest, the mix, and the ad-libs to the rap. Mama liked.
Yes. Wait, give me the tea, though. I don't know anything about Iron.
Oh.
What did he do?
This just in. If you have no clue who Iron is, he was a rapper that was found on Show Me the Money, and he was like, whoa, he's so cool. Everyone, their mama had him on their songs. Don't you know this man was crazy? So he was quite abusive. Sorry for YouTube, they might strike that. But he was kind of very physical. And during, fun time with his girlfriend would hit her and fracture her face and pull the baseball bat on his roommate. And eventually he did, got brought to trial, cops were called, things like that. But eventually he did actually, he self-deleted.
I see.
Yeah. So he wasn't well, rest his soul. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to player 3. We have Key with Forever Yours featuring Soyou. Soyou?
Soyou.
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 So
Player 3.
And this is the lead single from The Face Project, released in November 2018. And it was produced by London Noise, Dacom Diego Holland, and as we mentioned, features Soyou, who is a member of Sistar.
yeah.
And I will note, yes, there was another single released from this album called One of Those Nights, but Forever Yours was first. So we're counting that as kind of a debut. Yes. So I remember Key mentioning in some interviews, I forget if it was during the time or if it was actually later, that he played it quite safe with the first solo project. I think partly just, he was like, I'm going to play it safe with my first time. But also, I'm sure SM also had a hand in that. Like, you can't do anything too crazy for your debut. So it's interesting going back because even in these past couple of years, he's developed quite a lot as a solo artist. Like, he has a sound now. He's willing to take risks visually and sonically and everything. So I will say this song feels very safe. It's not a bad song. It's just a little faceless, a little generic kind of dance pop song. Could have been a SHINee B-side, Yeah. I do love Soyou though. So having her kind of husky, breathy voice, it's very iconic, her voice. So it does add some needed dynamic. And again, I'm sure it was also a directive from SM that's like, you need a feature in order to get any interest in your solo career. I can see that.
Because Soyou was hot at the time. She had some, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So I think around that time she had that. I got to double check.
Yeah. So hopefully they're friends and it wasn't fully just forced and you got to choose her.
Right.
But anyway, the song, I think London Noise is a great producer. It always feels super, super full. A lot of different sounds that come in throughout, and it keeps a roller coaster going through the song really dynamic. So I appreciate that. I like how heavy the drums and bass are. The little synth melody is nice. And yeah, the melodies are nice. Nice is probably the word I would use for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think he sounds fine. Again, nice. Because he's actually a good singer.
Yeah.
And he can emote really well. He has a great tone, has a lot of power and different textures. And he doesn't really show that in the song. He shows it in the rest of the project.
Yeah.
But this song, he kind of just uses the one.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. London Noise. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was feeling a little like, hey, Jack, where's that demo for 2017? It's just giving that. It wasn't like, oh shoot, we're making this bespoke to Key. Was this around like the odd era? Would we say?
No.
A little bit like way after, right?
Way after.
Way after. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess London Noise at that time had established a relationship with SM, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not like something they've done better.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it feels a little bit like, where's that song from? Y'all know how I feel about Chop House or anything that kind of sounds like anything that sounds like that, like a little bit like Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid. I'm already kind of like, this wasn't bad, but like you said, I just feel like I wanted to go shopping at Forever 21. Yeah, not even trying to be like funny at this point. It just sounded very just like background, you know? Even that other single he had that you mentioned, I just felt it was more him, you know? So it's just, And I did, in the beginning, there was like this do-do-do-do-do sound. It reminded me of Shanice's like do-do-do-do-do.
I thought that was Mario. Do-do-do-do-do-do. You
know what? Now you say it. We both heard something, but we liked it. It was like,
oh, I just heard Mario from you. I haven't heard it in song. Just now you did that little melody.
But yes, I heard that. I was like, okay, that's what caught my attention at the beginning of the song. But it was like a do-do-do. No, not doing it again. But yeah, Soyou has a nice voice. I agree with you. I think people slept on her because she's not Hyorin, but Homecoming holding it down.
I think some brought her more to the forefront, but I don't know what she's been doing.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
Yes. But Sistar has reunited. If you'd like us to do Pop 101 about Sistar, let us know, because I would love to.
Yes, PEST Sistar. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to Player 4. We have Onew with Blue.
Player 4.
Which was released prior to his military enlistment in December 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And it was done by SM veteran Kenzie and also production duo Rocco Berry. So this is the only ballad on the list.
Yeah.
He's since released kind of more upbeat stuff. I think that whole project was all ballads as well.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he was kind of going through some stuff. But yeah, what did you think of Blue?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Before we started this, I thought, oh yeah, Onew song. Aside from Dice, I had not heard Blue. But I had a feeling with the title that it wasn't going to be happy. It'd be melancholic in nature. And I thought, oh man, against all the other guys, how is he gonna, this song, do what it had to do, okay? The strings and the keys are simple and really understated. And I think that's what made it special. So it sounds like a ballad, but also it feels a little bit not generic. You can hear like the OST ballad. You're like, yep, that's for a soundtrack. This doesn't feel like that. And that's why I think I liked it. It builds so nicely. And there is slight reverb on his voice, which gives it depth, but also makes it almost kind of feel like he's isolated, just surrounded by whatever music's in his mind or was on the track or whatever. But it just feels even more isolating because the vocals aren't dry. I'm not sure that's the right technical term. Don't clock me. But yeah, there's a lot of strength even in that first note. He comes in very strong and he chills and lay back. And I'm like, oh my God, I'll hurt you. But yeah, I think the chorus is probably where he's definitely shines. It's not high for him per se, but I can see how someone singing that over and over again, your voice would be shot.
That breath control. That's tough.
No vibrato really, unless he wanted it there. Like that's really impressive. And the melody of the song is interesting to me. And I honestly, after watching and listening, like for the first time, I was super captivated. So I think it was definitely effective in what it was trying to do for sure. What about you? Because have you heard C4?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah. It's such a beautiful song. I read another review where they mentioned it's kind of musical theater, which I actually don't fully agree with either.
Interesting.
I see that more. It's definitely not an OST, but I think there's something more, I don't know, more personal about it in the drama. Like it's not drama to be drama, which I think a lot of musical theater ballads are.
Yeah.
I think the build was quite like authentic and genuine to, I don't know.
I get what they were trying to say, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, because it is a dramatic song, but
is.
it's not theatrical, I don't think.
No.
But
That's a drag.
Okay. I think the song is so beautiful. It's so haunting. It definitely, I think, I didn't know what he was singing about, but you could definitely feel there's some inner turmoil going on. And I think his voice is just, he's up there too as a K-pop vocalist, and he's slept on too.
Where are the vocalists these days? Like I guess no offense to NCT, but like even they don't even utilize like a Taeil or like
I mean, they could. I think they would if they could. Justice for Taeil and Do-young.
Oh my God, yes.
Because I bet Do-young good. Do-young is beautiful voice. Anyway, we're not talking about NCT.
Sorry.
But Onew's voice, though, it's so thick and it really just fills the space. Like the way it resonates, it's just so beautiful.
I'm jealous.
Like, can you imagine hearing this like sung live in a venue? Like, oh man, like his voice is just so beautiful, and he also just emotes so well, which is why him and Jonghyun, whenever they sang together, was always just so perfect because they emote very differently, but then it fits so well. And I think I appreciate the production in it. The strings are so pretty. And again, very haunting. And the way it builds throughout the song as well. There's so much tension in it, and it like really swells and kind of collapses and swell. And like, he mentions the ocean in the lyrics, and you can kind of feel that, as you body wave.
Yeah, like thinking about something about the lyrics.
But like, I think, he mentions, it's called blue. So if you think of the ocean, you think of the sky and like clouds and like, you feel that in the song. It has that kind of in and out of like waves. I think it's awesome. And this song, I listen to it not as often as I should.
I should have known it existed. I apologize. Sincerely. The last player is Minho with Chase.
Player 5.
Minho was the final group member to debut as a solo artist and release Chase in December 2022. And it was written by Kimberly Cadence Krishuk, known for her work on songs such as Thank You Next and Seven Rings by Ariana Grande, Waka, and Emlay and Gemini.
Yes.
That's an interesting name for a producer. Excuse me.
Yes. All right. So Minho, finally, he's released a solo project. Yes, he did release Heartbreak, we know, but we're not counting that as his debut title track because that was just like an SM Station situation. So this we count as the true debut.
True.
But yeah, I'm going to be honest. I never thought Minho would actually do a proper solo artist moment because I didn't think music was his number one passion. Like He's an actor, which I actually need to watch. He just has a new Netflix show that I need to watch.
Oh, really? So fine.
And he does, he's like hosting and like variety shows. And like, I don't know, that's what I thought his bag was.
Good singer. Yes, bag. That is
yeah. And like let me be real, he holds it down in SHINee.
Yes, he does.
And he's improved a lot, but I just never thought of him as a solo act.
No.
But I liked Heartbreak, and so him kind of sticking to this kind of like lo-fi, like melancholic R&B thing makes sense. His vocal tone and range are a little limited. Not the most dynamic in terms of texture or anything. So, keeping it this kind of like laid back thing makes sense.
Right.
But the song doesn't really do it for me.
No, it does not actually.
Unfortunately. I think first off, the auto-tune used throughout really annoys me.
You know what? I think that's because he doesn't have melisma in his voice, like the runs and stuff that would fill up those gaps. Okay. That's my, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. But like, luckily it's not present throughout the whole song, but like it's there through a lot of it. And I love the bridge. But the auto-tune is back.
Yeah.
And when he goes into like the falsetto and like there's a slight mix and there's some dynamic there, but then it gets ruined and turned emotionless by the auto-tune, which I'm unhappy about.
Right.
And then his belt in the chorus is like a little forced as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, it's not the best. But melodically, I think the song is okay. I think the pre-choruses are probably my favorite part. I think it's just the most interesting melodically. The running.
Oh,
I mean, that hook is okay.
Running.
It's okay. So
I forgot
that's all I have to say.
No, he's giving y'all a lot more than I'm about to give you because I couldn't remember it until you sang it just now. Damn. Oh, listen, I love that man. When I pulled him for my first like SHINee purchase recently, I was supported by their albums before. Like I pulled him, I was so happy.
Oh, as a photo card?
Yeah, for the Atlantis album. Go cop that.
I got Onew.
Oh yeah.
I would have been happy with any of them, honestly.
True.
Yeah.
But when you're attracted to someone, you can get their photos. Like I don't have to pay for this. I did technically pay for it, but I didn't have to like trade for it. Yep. If you trade photo cards, you know what it's like. Okay. But yeah, I agree with you. I wasn't thinking solo guy. I wasn't thinking like this. Heartbreak, right? Not Heartbreaker. Yeah, Heartbreak I liked a little bit more from it. It was like that neo-noir, like pseudo Weekend kind of sound. Yes. But he gives me suit and tie because he's so handsome. he doesn't give me swaggy R&B, like this R&B-based trap soul direction. I don't know if I was expecting it or if it like, he just wanted to try. I don't know. You know, especially with a lot of producers, they kind of just shop out music. And if it's just sitting there, people pick it. But I'm not sure if it's something that he was like, oh, yeah, I want to make a whole album with this. Again, he doesn't come across as swaggy. And I think maybe because he lacks a vocal technique that is usually expected from like his Western contemporaries in this genre. I just feel like if he would have had a little bit more like that, like soul, if you will, or melisma, it would have been maybe a little bit better than the vocal filter that they used. You know, like the little quiet moments. And but production-wise, I did like how bassy it was, but seeing who worked on it, like with the 7 rings and Thank You Next, I can hear that now. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I like it. I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I just feel like Heartbreak was better for his aesthetic. And even the way he moves is better. But yeah, there are harmonies on the song I heard, but it's either done with another vocalist, like a female one, because it kind of sounded a little high, or some plugins, but they just don't feel like him. It just didn't feel like fully fleshed out in terms of vocals for me.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up the song section. So what wins for you?
Oh, shoot. Okay. You know, I thought I was going to be like, oh, yeah, Taemin's got it. Right? But then I heard Blue. So for what it was, Blue did what it had to do. And I respect it. It's such a good song. And I was like, this is a damn good song. But I think artistically speaking, sonically speaking, overall, Danger has it for me for sure. Yeah.
Yes, I have to give it to Danger too. It's so tough. Like, I agree. These are all very different, actually. And so yeah. But I think as a song, the one I go back to the most, the one that I think is the most like interesting creatively is Danger.
Oh, Danger. Okay, I was like, Crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I love Crazy, but like I think Jonghyun is better.
Yeah, I agree.
Round 2.
So for the video portion, we're going right back to Taemin and Danger music video. Listen, this video when it came out, I was there front and center watching it. So I remember. Because honestly, I can say like Taemin, I never looked at as like, oh my god, my favorite member.
Yeah.
It was between Jonghyun and Key constantly. Because I was like, one's vocally, but I like one's super cute. But Taemin, he can just dance well. When this song came out, and I saw this video, everybody helped as well. But when I saw this, and I was, oh yeah, okay. So you can definitely see MJ for sure. I mean, you can totally see it though. Like, that's how I feel like, whoa, like you just found, found gold here. But yeah, you can see MJ for sure. But I think what makes it more interpretive as opposed to derivative is like the androgynous approach, the rock star kind of imagery. Like Mike was a little bit more like I'm Fosse inspired. I'm West, like, Jerome Robbins. There's some moments here. There's jazz. He was like hip hop, learning people who loved Michael, who appreciated maybe like the little bit of that visual K Japanese aesthetic. The eyeshadow, the hair, the lipstick, the concealed lips. Like that was very visual K. And he put that in there. So he kind of combines them. And like the video, it just keeps going. Like he moves, or he did like this one hot thing before the bump with the first one. And the next scene was him dancing. Like it's just really nice. It's very kinetic. It's just keeps going. It feels almost dangerous. Like if you stop at any point in time, the bus is going to blow up, like speed. I think what's interesting is how he's portrayed in the video as well, because he's standing in the garage, staring the camera down, staring at some other opponents, just not there. Again, not conveying romantic interest at all. And even with the choreography, he looks like he's shadowboxing at some point. Like he's going like this, he's going like this, like he's like, it's just very like badass, for lack of a better word. And it's powerful and it feels very like fearless, especially after the bridge. There's like this sepia kind of colored scene where he has like a man bun going on. He's like sitting there dancing toward the camera. It looks like he's beating the camera down like Fight Club or something. So I think that's what sets it apart and made it like, oh snap, the guy with the tight skinny jeans is wow, like that's what it felt like.
Yeah, I think it's fun because he was the young one, right? Like he was the cute young one. And especially after they debuted in Japan, even more so, right? He would push to the middle in the front. And he was like the cute one that all the Japanese people loved, I guess.
Right.
So have him come out and do something super dark like this is awesome. And I think he probably wanted to like go against
the grain. Like,
I wanted to rebel against that image of him as well.
Yeah.
He had like Pretty Boy on it too.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like he was rebelling in this moment, I think. But this video showcases him so perfectly. We get all these awesome sides of him. We get him both blonde and with black hair.
Yes.
And I also was reading something else that mentioned that he seemed to be playing with gender norms here and kind of just like that type of thing with the fashion he was using, with the makeup he was using.
Yeah.
And he does that throughout his whole solo career. So it's kind of awesome. He's been doing that kind of since the very beginning. And yeah, it just all feels so effortless. Like he is just such a natural performer. Like there's never a scene, close up, dance wise, anything in there where he's straining in any way.
Right.
It's all just natural. So it just really shows how great he is.
Yeah.
This is a solo debut.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
And yeah, I liked that he didn't do too much either. Like all the scenes had moments to breathe. It wasn't, cause you know, some of the K-pop videos now, it's like you see one scene for like 10 seconds and then you never see it again. It's like, oh my God, but that costume was cool. Or like, it's like, there was none of that. Like it was kind of like you get like kind of the 5 or 6 different things and then that was it.
Yeah.
And each one kind of had a really distinct look to it.
Right. Came back around, slow motion. Yeah.
And then we'll talk about the dance stuff later, but like obviously this is a very dance heavy video. You feel the MJ influence for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah. Great video.
Yeah, I can go on, but I won't.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to player 2 again with Jonghyun with Crazy, Guilty Pleasure. So what do you think of this video?
Jonghyun, you know, he's one of those, you look at him or listen to him or whatever and not think that his brain works the way it did. You know, it's a very dark video. But like, I think that was acceptable at the time, if I'm not mistaken. Like that was whole dark kind of thing. The eyeliner was already like happening back then. But like him underlining and then like, and then like the eyeshadow, it looks almost like sleep deprived, like obsessive craziness.
Yes.
And I don't like to use that C word, but like, it's just like, I want this person so badly and it looks like that.
Yeah.
So again, I would have not thought that way with this song. Like the song sounds desperate in a certain way, but it feels angsty and he had it. Everything's in black and white with maybe like a red being shown. Like I think my favorite scene is like the spotted gobo where it's like on his face like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it makes him look mysterious and moody, but also really dangerous, which is interesting because he's talking about how dangerous the woman is to him.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, who's the prey and who's the predator. And I think the overlay in the background with the woman's face with the Penrose staircase is just continuously going, just creates that feeling of like never being able to escape someone, like the obsessive nature. It just very, very interesting to have behind him. The band scenes were cool, but I think again, it's really interesting to see all of that. I think SM at the time was just killing it in the sense of music videos, even though they always had people in a freaking box. But you could make a story out of it for sure. I think seeing the physical woman like manifested was also really creepy because like you can never really see her face. And when you did, it was like this weird blue avatar thing. And it was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But aside from that, I think the video was cool. Him being strung up was interesting. I mean,
with the spider.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah. And spider was a little odd. Yeah. Well, you mentioned the box, but I think in this case, it makes sense. It's supposed to feel claustrophobic. It's supposed to feel tormented, right? So, it really made sense in that. And he's a very good actor in that way. He has a very emotive, expressive face.
Yeah.
And so he embodied that very well, where you could tell he was almost in pain, that he was in these uncomfortable situations. He was tied up. He had a gas mask on, he's in these situations that are not the most comfortable, right? And so I appreciated all that imagery. I thought it was effective. And yeah, I liked the black and white and all the colors and stuff as well. Yeah, I don't need the band section really. I don't think that was necessary. I think him alone with the mic stand would have been fine.
Would have been awesome with a spotlight.
But yeah, I think it matched the song, which is what you want out of a music video. Was it anything crazy? No, it was not. But it was intense and it was moody and it matched the song, so I appreciate it for what it was. And he looked beautiful.
Oh man, handsome man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so let's move on. What's next?
Woo, next is a key with Forever Yours featuring Soyou, not So Me.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Soyou is not in the video.
Yeah.
So that beginning, I remember when I first turned it on, because I haven't seen it in a few years now. I was like, oh, did I click the wrong? I was like, oh, did a visualizer or did I click the wrong thing?
Like a teaser.
Yeah. But no, she's just not in it. So nothing really happens in the beginning. But yeah, so this video's fun. The CGI is terrible in parts of it. It gets better throughout the video, but that initial part where the car like leaves the garage, it was like,
Wasn't great.
But I enjoyed like the scenes of him like driving through space and dancing through space. And I thought the final part with like the different platforms and things was fun. Different costumes and stuff. This one did need a dance moment though, I think. You know, we didn't say Jonghyun didn't have a dance moment, but it didn't call for that. But this one, it did need that because it got a little old, him just kind of in the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was like, literally in my notes, I was like, I wish there was dancing because he's so damn good. I do like the fashion though in the video.
Yes. I mean, he never fails in that department.
But that was it. He was, you know, also Cheetos. All I see is Cheetos. Cheetos in his, I just see Cheeto hair, you know, like Cheetos. I mean, like what an era. Okay. Flying into space with that lemon. He was like, vroom, vroom, with things. Went into outer space. I was like, boy. I guess it was like kind of like a Back to the Future kind of thing. Like, you know, fix the car in the garage, go into outer space.
Yeah. And you mentioned lyrically as well. Like, it's about the universe.
He does. Yes. He does talk about like, the lyric says our engines are different from others and they'll find it. He said he would find the girl in any other universe if you were to collapse and die or whatever. But yeah, I guess that would explain the vroom vroom with the lemon into space.
Yeah.
But yeah, boy, oh boy, again, hot Cheetos. And I think overall, again, like you said, it was safe. Even the video was super safe. Like he just looked stylish. Like he was just
not too much personality in it.
No, and it's so crazy because he has all of the personality.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So again, it's just interesting to see like in a group how much like creative fashion control they would give him, how much like control of the image in the sense of like, hey guys, maybe we should try this or this will look really cute. Our hair is like this.
Yeah.
But like as an artist, SM didn't let him. It's interesting for sure.
Yes. I'm glad, you know, since then he's been able to have a lot more creative control. Because this last album was amazing. Yes. All right, so let's move on to Onew with Blue. To match this very haunting song, we have a very interesting video.
Yeah.
So the lyrics in this song talk about loneliness. And you can really feel that, and it's a very eerie video.
Got chills.
It really matches the song, at least. You know, I appreciate that with all of these songs. With all that we're talking about today, but you could really feel the loneliness throughout. You know, he kind of passes through these different items. He sees different kind of entities of people. I don't really, like groups of people that I'm sure have special meaning to him in some way. You could it really felt like we were in his mind almost. And I thought it was a beautiful video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, again, I did not know what this was until we saw it. And I thought, damn, this video's good. I guess in terms of the timeline with the green screen and the visual effects being a little bit more advanced, or like, you know, advanced for all intents and purposes. The blues, the mutedness of everything, the holes in the bodies.
Yeah.
That was, again, it's weird. I think it's interesting the way they portray certain items. Like there was a little like diamond rock thing that some people theorize to be SHINee.
Yeah, it is the color. It's SHINee's color.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, the dilapidated house. I feel like when he brought SHINee's like little artifact back into the house, it kind of made him feel fulfilled again because it was glowing, and the video ended on that as well. Maybe he just felt broken. I mean, that was around the time he had faced some allegations and such, and you know, a lot of other things were happening, and then he went into the army, and it was just like, you know. So maybe that was just his kind of way of saying, like, I'm going to go back, retreat into myself, you know, remember where I started. Like, SHINee is my, you know, my safe place. The showels are my safe place. Because even in that video, those people became like titans and like stared at him, and he was so afraid.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I felt so bad. But yeah, I mean, what makes the video even more interesting was that piano solo that we heard.
Yes, there's an extended middle section after the bridge. And the bridge already is so intense with the build. But yeah, in the video version, we get an extended piano break.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely beautiful. And now, I miss it. I miss it in the recorded version.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Because it was very, like, as you say, it was poignant. And I feel like it made the ending even more just, like, cathartic. So yeah, and it crescendoed really nicely. So again, the video is good.
Yeah.
It's good. I wasn't expecting it to be. And I hate to say that about him, but when you hear ballads, usually SM just goes, sit at the piano. Sit at the cafe.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
so.
This one was intense for sure. And there's so much to analyze in it. And like I said, it seemed very personal as well. So I feel like no one will ever really know what some of that stuff meant, but that kind of makes it even better in some ways. So yeah, really, really beautiful for sure. All right, what's our last one?
The last one is Minho with Chase.
So Minho does actually have a bachelor's degree in film, which I only learned that kind of recently. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So anyway, he did direct this music video, which is awesome. That's funny. Really, really cool.
It is, but it's just funny that you say, he actually, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
He went to school?
Who knew?
When did he have time?
Apparently got it in like 2015. I don't know. Shawls, help us out.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Let us know about his education. But yes, so first off, I have to say, I love that the name of the bar is the last piece of the puzzle. Very, very cute. And he did also post a picture on Instagram of like the 5 of their albums stacked on top of each other. Like, I love that they support each other in their solo careers so much.
Yes.
Anyway, fanboying aside. Okay, this video, I like it more after a few times watching it. The first time I watched it, I was a little confused. And also I misinterpreted the ending and thought it was a little more morbid than it is. And so I didn't love it. But after watching it a few times, I now understand the story and I appreciate how cinematic it all is. And now I kind of get what he was going for. Like, he's both being chased by the ghost of this woman, but also he's wanting to chase the memory, right? While he's like hunting for her through the bar and everything and seeing her everywhere. So I love that kind of juxtaposition. I love that then everything is just kind of out of sequence. So you're kind of feeling that confusion that he's feeling.
Disoriented and such.
So I love that now. But that took me a couple watches to understand that. But it did make me appreciate the song a little more. For sure. Because it just adds to the drama of it.
Totally.
Because I think just listening to it, you don't feel that as much just from the way it's produced and the way it's sung. So yeah, the video definitely helps in that case. So yeah, what did you think?
I agree with you. I feel like all the symbolism is interesting for sure, like the inescapable memories and such. Yeah, I was confused because he was getting his butt whooped. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, I didn't understand why he was.
Man down.
Yeah. Also, there's a glorification in K-pop of like injured faces too, because he performed. We'll talk about the performances later, but like he also like the whole and like there's perfectly placed blood and scratches and stuff. Like, I don't like that. And
I blame The Weeknd. Seriously, when he introduced that character that got into an accident after the hills, and then like the recent album with the red suit. Remember at the Super Bowl, his whole face was wrapped up? It was a continuation of a story that we weren't keen on.
Well, actually, to be fair though, at least his concept was like fully fleshed out. Sometimes with the K-pop stuff, not in Minho's case, because at least it connected back to the video. But sometimes they're just injured, injured in quotes. For no reason. They're just like performing with scratches on their face.
Like Blackpink had that, wasn't that Kill This Love? Or some of the songs were like, Kill This Love. They had scratches on their face. Everyone's like, they're women. And they're like basically naked and they have bruises on their face. No. So I will say this video, had nothing to do with the teaser. Remember the teaser?
Okay, the teaser was awesome.
It was.
Yeah.
It was great. The whole
spy thing.
Yeah, Born Identity, like that was cool. The Minho identity thing going on. It was cool. But then you get to this song and it was just nothing to do with anything. Because I guess Chase...
I've learned not to really think anything of the SM teasers. They're usually like
absurd.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not absurd. It's obscure. Excuse me. Wrong word. Sorry.
But sometimes they're absurd.
I concur. But yeah, I do enjoy, and so going back to what you were saying about the ending, just get us back on track. He did actually pull out a weapon that made both of us actually uncomfortable upon first viewing. But upon several other viewings, we came to the conclusion that he wanted to free himself of the memory of this woman's image, and she would always appear in the mirror. So therefore, he shot the mirror and was freed from her corpse. So yeah.
Yes. All right. So that's done with the videos. Okay. So I have to still give it to Taemin.
Oh.
I do. Because I will watch that video over and over again and not be bored of it.
We definitely did, though.
Because I know in general, like throughout these last, you know, what, 8 years?
Right.
Yeah. Like, and we got to see him perform it when he came for
SM.
Super M.
Super M, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this first. Blue, he's coming up in the rear.
Yeah.
But again, I think Taemin is the one because of just Taemin's video for what he was trying to do, for the understandability of it. Even the parts I didn't understand, it was able to pick it up. He just wanted to be a badass. Like, I get that. Blue, close second for sure. Close freaking second. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. If Taemin wasn't there, Blue was...
It's tough. Taemin really set the bar very high.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the first one to do it.
And unfortunately, he set the bar high for choreography too. Sorry for that little spoiler a little bit. But anyway, let's talk about the choreography and the performances and stuff.
Final round.
Taemin is known as one of the best dancers in all of K-pop and still is.
He is.
Even though he's, second gen and we're now in basically fifth gen. We're entering fifth gen. The choreography is so good in Danger. Major props to the choreographers.
Ian Eastwood. I loved that man when I was 10. Not too young.
Okay, you're not that young.
My bad.
Okay. But I love Ian Eastwood as well. He was also coming up like during the prime of my kind of dance career as well. And like the reason I actually got into K-pop was because all the choreographers are choreographing for it. So that's why I started looking into it. Oh man, this is so good. It's so, first off, it's very MJ inspired. So it fits Taemin perfectly.
Yeah.
You especially get it with the, the shoulders. Dun, 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 dun. And it's so intricate. I never learned this one, but I did learn Drip Drop.
Oh, that's hard.
Which was also Ian Eastwood.
God, it's hard.
Oh my gosh. It looks so hard. There's so many little subtle movement and like really fast, sharp moments, but then also you need to be like, it's weird. It's like your hand needs to be loose, but your elbow needs to be sharp. And then it's like your hip needs to do a slow roll, but your like arm is like super sharp. It was crazy. And this choreo is like that too. It's a really cool balance of the power plus softness and delicateness. And it balances that the whole time.
Yeah.
And the hands really stand out to me too, like watching him perform it, because Taemin especially is very deliberate with his hand. Like sometimes he's putting energy throughout the whole thing. Sometimes it's loose. Sometimes one finger is out. Like it's so specific and planned, but he makes it look easy. So he's just such a good performer.
You're right.
It's just insane. And also that whole last chorus is freestyle.
Oh.
It's for him to sing.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yes, we do.
That's different.
That's the oh shoot. Shade. Shots fired.
Yes, shots fired.
But you're right. Honestly, when you're speaking like effortlessly and such, if you guys get a chance, rewatch the video, or if you can remember, just watch it. This face the whole time. So chill. The only time I ever see him like, oh God, I need to get myself together is when he has to hit the notes, because he's like, I have to hit these notes. Like it's my showtime. And he's just dancing, whatever.
Yeah.
But everything else, his face is just, he could be having a picnic for all intents and purposes. I'm just sitting here hitting his weird ass finger tutting. It's impressive. And I think it's a testament to how well trained he is. Because again, like a lot of the people that they've worked with are definitely MJ inspired. Like SM was like, hey, let's get 5 little Michael Jackson minis. Rina Nakasone is very much like, I love MJ. She would be him during their like Skeleton Crew dancing. Tony Testa with Dream Girl and you know what I'm saying? And everybody, like it's there. But I think SHINee has always embodied MJ with their own like unique color. K-pop fans, y'all know what that
color.
That's the only word it's in the script too, y'all. That's the only word I could think of, But yeah, like you said, Ian Eastwood was popping at the time. I don't blame him for reaching out. And I think that what I like even more about these lyrics is that they're not on the nose. Like way back when, I don't know if there were like English demos floating around for the choreographers to dance to. This is giving, I don't know Korean, but I know how this sounds and I like the way it sounds. And I like the way it sounds. Let me choreograph to it, because Danger, there's only bother. He's saying tonight. He looks like he's loading a gun. It's not, like stay. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. But he didn't go stay. He was just moving his body.
Yeah.
And nothing is choreography. It's all just, I heard this sound. I like this sound. Maybe there's a gun because there's a gun sound, but nothing about it was like, I know Korean. I think that's what made it even more impressive to me because the choreography is good. I still want to learn it. I understand certain things. Like Ian understood the assignment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even now, like nowadays, you can see like really not corny choreography, but like there's a song, limbo, 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 limbo.
And she's jumping and pretending to limbo.
If y'all don't know that song, By Nature.
Yeah.
That's
Not a fan.
no.
Yeah.
The song's okay, deep-ish, but the choreography's not it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Choreography. Yeah, it was great. I like that.
We're going to move on to the next one, which was Crazy by Jonghyun. And so there's actually no choreography to this one.
Which one? The mic stand dancing he was doing? He's in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was not a choreography.
And the little toe dip thing?
He does the pose at the end, but I wouldn't count that as choreography. But anyway, this is all about the vocals.
Yes.
Because it's Jonghyun.
Yes.
And this song, he needed to emote, like I said, every single word. So he needed to concentrate on that.
Mhm.
And he was also going for the band thing.
Right, with their fake instruments.
Yeah. So it's always interesting, right? Like on the regular music shows.
Yes.
You can't hook up the instruments, obviously. So it's just.
CN Blue, AOA,
Yeah,
FT,
fake.
Island. I just hated that, but
Yeah,
the music's
it's
so
fake.
good. Yeah.
But there were versions with the live band. Like he did do it on some of the SHINee tours. He also did it on Sketchbook, which we watched.
Yeah.
So first off, can I just say the live band version is what I want. The guitars in there, the real drums. Yeah, really brings it up to where I want it to be. But for him as a performance, kills it.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a great stage presence. His vocals are up there, obviously. They're absolutely amazing. And he really puts his all into singing this song.
Yeah.
So I thoroughly enjoyed watching him perform it. Yeah.
I agree. I think he, again, going back to what I said earlier, there's no one who sings like him. Doesn't mean these kids can't sing. It's just no one can sing like him. At the end of the day, he's a vocalist who was taught to dance and did both well. But I mean, also just kind of going back to like him singing, he said that he didn't want to make an album full of ballads because he actually said he didn't really like doing them as much. So he was trying to avoid that with this album. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's not like he didn't do it, but he's like, I don't want that to be.
Yeah.
Like, I can belt, but I'm not going to. But yeah, again, he commands the stage for sure. For someone who wasn't belting, was just hitting a bunch of falsettos and just, watch Sketchbook.
Mm-hmm.
He did a Juliet cover. Not even a cover, a Juliet rendition,
Yeah.
whatever. He did it. He did that. And then he did the Crazy, and it sounded so good.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like he'll throw his whole body into singing, and the notes will still come out clean. Then this was before like the over editing.
Yes.
So
Yeah. And the extreme heavy backing track as well.
oh yeah,
Because there is some backing track, but it doesn't on top of like. Yeah. Side note, remember SM the Ballad? They had like a couple songs including like hot stuff. Not hot stuff.
that's Donna Summer.
No. People, you remember SM the Ballad. I know it's not on streaming services, but SHINee fans and like I think some Super Junior members were in it too.
Why that's so
In
familiar?
like 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
You guys know. Remind me. There's a song that starts with hot. I'm going to look it up after this and make her listen to it.
Yeah,
okay.
please.
Okay. Okay. Let's move on to player 3, which was Key, Forever Yours.
Oh yeah.
And Soyou did show up for the performances. So what did you think of the performances of this?
I'll say how she showed up. Oh, I'm going to show you all how she showed up. I'm here. I'm here. And then the rest of the song was just Key by himself. She came in and out. I don't appreciate that. She didn't learn the choreography. And there were some choreography moments where she was wearing heel and skirt, but the choreography was like involved.
You know what? I'm okay with that. You know what? She's busy too. Sistar was at their peak at this point. When they? No, 2018, y'all. No. Me lying right there. I was imagining like Alone and stuff, but I was like, oh, we're like, this is not that era at all.
Okay. We love
this
them.
is much later.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? she was busy and didn't have time to rehearse all that. And she was probably like, I'm not doing that.
Right.
And when she saw the choreography, because the choreography is very full out.
Yeah.
I will say he is a very underrated performer. I think it's hard, right, when you're with people like Taemin and Jonghyun. But he can hold his own too. He's a great performer. He's very charismatic, awesome dancer, great vocalist. But this performance, like the song, doesn't really do him justice.
No.
He's very clean with the execution of it. Like the arms and stuff are very clean. It's a lot of kind of basic grooves all put together very in a high energetic way. So he executes it very, very well. Yeah. He does mute it down when Soyou shows up to match her energy, which is what you do in a group, right? Yeah. So, that's that group training right there. And I thought it was fun to watch, but will I watch other performances? No. No. Oh, and their dynamic was cute.
Yeah.
And, with him and Soyou. So I do hope they are friends and it wasn't just a forced duet.
Right. I actually liken their interaction between like what would happen if me and Chris performed together on a stage. Like he'd be doing all the choreography really cleanly and I just step off stage and pop back on.
That is very not true.
It wouldn't be true. But if I had to choose a song to sing for us to kind of be like, hey,
Would be this one?
No. But it's just low impact on the knees, Just
it's a lot of jumping though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't want to come out and do that either. I want to just stand with my back to you and just like they were doing, But again, I agree with you in a sense, like the duet was cute, but like nothing to write home about. But that brings us to our next contestant who doesn't have a performance per se as much as like an impromptu, like
acapella moment.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Onew didn't promote this project because he kind of went straight into the military kind of right after it came out or right before it came out. I forget what the timing exactly was, but yeah, he didn't promote it on the regular music shows.
Yeah.
And he apparently didn't perform it at his Japanese shows either because we only found this kind of a cappella clip of him kind of not taking it fully seriously and kind of belting this chorus.
Yeah.
He still sounded good. It was, again, it takes a lot of breath control. So he was like laughing throughout it. So,
yeah.
Hopefully he performs it in full one day. I'm sure he could sound beautiful singing it.
The older he gets, it's going to sound so good.
Yeah.
Dark chocolate rich. But yeah, I guess that brings us to our last contestant, Minho with Chase.
Yeah. Yes. So this one was interesting. I think, okay, so we were watching these together, right, when we were prepping for this episode, and we were both discussing, like, Minho is such a great group member. He holds it down in SHINee. He's an important part of SHINee.
Yeah.
Both visually and sonically and everything, like, performance-wise. He does bring something different from the other four.
Yes.
But this performance kind of exposed some of his
Achilles heel, if you will, weaknesses.
Yeah. Some of the points of improvement.
Areas
of improvement. I think, as we know, he has a great body, right?
Yes.
But I think he's a bit stiff.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Like he hasn't been stretching enough. Because this choreo was very smooth. It had some smooth moments.
And leg lifting
and really
stuff.
Needed your core to be loose. And your back to be loose and your neck to be loose.
Yeah.
And all of it felt a little tight.
Yeah.
So it was a little clunky.
Kind of clunky.
And on top of that, so a little awkward. But on top of that, and this goes along because it's a newer song, and I've been saying a lot of K-pop song, a lot of K-pop choreo is more difficult than it needs to be. And this was kind of that case because this has like moments of like this jumping footwork and like, like hand. And it's like, whoa.
Chill.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like at least the run in was just that like body roll thing. So I didn't mind that. Oh, you weren't a huge fan of that, right?
Because he wasn't, he was to hinge at the waist when you kind of do, like almost like a door. He wasn't bending.
Oh, I know, but I mean, as terms of like a choice of like the hook.
That was better. I mean, I would have had a little bit of, I'm gliding. I'm running or back up running, something that travels. It's not
just like a body roll
that he could not execute. Yeah. I would have changed it.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting that he couldn't execute this as well as I maybe thought he would have been able to.
Yeah.
But my favorite moments within the choreography were actually just the more dynamic ones. With the dancers, like during the bridge with him on the ground and the dancers just kind of creating pictures around him. That's a lot. But yeah, I don't love this.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I feel like, again, his choreography in Heartbreak was better.
Yeah.
Guy in a suit is better, but him coming around, like you said, the bounce, like he bounced around. He didn't like bounce nicely when he came around in rotation.
It's just a little tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little
I'm not gonna keep shading him, but yeah, I think Heartbreak was more of his speed because requires a lot of swag, and he's not a swaggy person. He's more debonair. He's more like, the guy who buys you a Negroni in like whatever that meme is. But yeah, he's more of like a very handsome kind of suit and tie dancer, and not so much swaggy kind of guy.
I think he's not as smooth.
Yeah,
like I'm not sure what it is. Like
it's his hips. He doesn't move them. I'll just say it's the hips.
Core.
Yeah.
You
say it's the core. I say it's the hips. I think it's both.
I think it's connected.
The whole trunk is just not moving. Yeah, the whole trunk. But yeah, I agree with you. I think the dancers making the pictures without touching him, like I touched Chris.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they made really nice pictures that helped.
Yes.
And that the moon was nice and things, but yeah, that's about it. But yeah. That being said, he is the last one.
Yes.
So. Performance, live presentation.
Yeah.
Who?
This is really tough because we have like vocalists versus like dancers. It's not the most fair. Here's the thing. I have to give it to Taemin, and I'm sorry that I'm only choosing one person for the whole thing. But it's tough to match. Again, he set the bar so high. Like I could watch him perform Danger. Like I could watch every single combat performance and totally be happy to watch them again.
Me too. Me too. It's funny. The first time we ever did a pop off, we did like Kai got 7 and Hyphen, and Kai swept the board.
But spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But to be fair, though, I could also listen to Jonghyun sing that song.
That's what I'm saying.
And over again as well. But visually, like as a whole performance, it's really hard not to give it Taemin for me.
Yeah, I mean, Taemin's also sung it before too. The mic was on at Mnet Countdown. Okay.
Yeah.
It was on
all those shows.
Shoot. Back in the day when people actually used to think about the mic being turned on, making sure the mic pack was hot. But
I mean, SM used to already be the ones that would lip sync more than some of the others. Like I feel like the first week of comebacks, they would always lip sync, right?
Yes.
And then they would eventually sing live after that. But now it's just all lip sync.
Yeah, if you were an EXO fan back in the day and they had to sing all those hard songs like Mama and stuff, they sounded terrible. But at least the mics were on.
Yeah, I'd rather them sound terrible with the mics on.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me, I will give it to Taemin. I was trying to be nice and think about it, but Taemin. I'm a Taemin. What can I say?
Yeah.
He won me. He, artistically speaking, I think as a whole, artistically speaking, him and Jonghyun always kind of were like bumping heads for me because I was like, one is like lyrically, melodically amazing, but one artistically speaking, visually is like, wow. And then, Jonghyun has since left us, but now Key's up there with me. With Taemin, and now Key's making songs that are like hitting in like songs like Idea or like other songs are a little bit more abstract, aren't hitting for people.
Yeah.
But Key songs are. So it's interesting to see how far they've come. And honestly, I mean, if you guys want us to do like another part where we do like most like latest song or like a different song, we got to figure it out because I feel like everyone needs a different shake.
Yeah.
A fair shake, if you will.
Yes, for sure. Okay, but in terms of an overall winner, I think it's very obvious, right? For both of us, that it's Danger.
Yeah.
Kind of swept that one. But I will say, we are both huge SHINee fans.
Yeah.
Like, we will continue to support all 5 of them with whatever they released.
Yes.
Like, I love some of Minho's B-sides. I think some of them are much better than the title track, to be honest. So, yeah.
Let's recall what you just said.
I'm excited for what's next from them and also as a group because that's happening.
Yeah.
We need Taemin to get out but he's coming.
That poor baby.
All right, so we want to know what you all think. Does Taemin sweep it for you, or would you give it to one of the other members? Let us know who wins the pop-off for you. You can let us know in the comments below or message us at CCTV Pop on all social media. You can also join us on Patreon. So please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. And for our listeners, please give us a rating and review on your podcast platform of choice. Until next time, that's Shan.
That's good.
And we are CCTV.